All right, so calling for the removal of King Charles as Jamaica's head of state without leaving the jurisdiction of the Privy Council ethically unsound. Sentiments hold on our head. Sentiments shared by our guests this morning. We've got the Principal Director of the National Integrity Action, Daniel Archer, here. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, being grateful. How the tour?
I'm well, thank you.
No, look nice.
Yeah, man, I'm a girl.
Your matches too.
No, it's my uniform.
You need to stop it and talk about what you come here to talk about. Yeah, leave that part. Or I'm going to need a lawyer for it. So, an interesting position being taken by yourself and the NIA. The feedback has been interesting out of the article. Tell me what people are, the ones that you can share. Sentiment. Really?
I think the problem that we're having, to be fair, is that it has taken on political lines. No one is looking at it from an objective perception. So you have those who are on the political divide making it appear as if you don't agree with those who are proposing one particular view, you're opposing for the sake of opposing because you belong to the other side. In reality, I just saw we stay.
You are not surprised.
We can't talk because if me don't agree with you, me must oppose you because me agree with somebody else. Me can't think for myself. And I think fundamentally, that's the problem we're having with this conversation about the reform for the Constitution. Everybody else is too dunce to make a decision for themselves. And then you have those who are very bright, who knows what is good for us, what we need, and they can make that decision without involving everybody else.
So, let me stop. What's the role of NIA?
NIA is a governance watchdog that focuses on accountability, integrity, and transparency. And so when you talk about governance, we want to be able to look at how you're getting good governance. And in 2024, good governance in the realm of constitutional reform does require people participation. Mm-hmm. Not for you to tell people, this is what we're going to be doing. And here's the rub. This is where the rubber hits the road, to be fair. We have this lovely conversation now about the executive president. Do you know what the executive president does? Have you been told about any examples? What's happening in Guyana? What's happening in Trinidad? Before you can ask me what I want, you not think if you tell me what my options are and how it's working?
But isn't that a part of the problem is that we have a lot of information gaps. We have a lot of lack of awareness. We have a lot of lack of education. Even what we're talking about with Republican constitutional reform, dance. If you go to a road and you ask the average man, which is why we have tribalism.
And that is where we need to grow from. All I'm saying is the very same way when election come, and you want to know why one party better than the other, what we hear? You hear the song them in our ears? No, so every bus, every corner, every taxi, everybody has something to play. You hear nobody has sing nothing about Republic? Anybody knocking on your door and saying, hi, good afternoon, I am so-and-so, we're doing a Republican drive, I want to get your views. Mm-hmm. You go to a place like Manchester, where I'm from, and you hold one town hall. What happened to the people that may come from Lancaster? They don't want to know too.
Let me play devil's advocate, because we voted these people in. I say we as Jamaicans. Yeah. We voted these people in, and I suspect we voted them in because we want them to run our country, because we think they are capable of running the country.
Correct.
So if them come to me and say, well, we're going to move Simone over here and put Neville over there, why we don't believe that?
That's beautiful. Can I flip something to you?
Sure.
Aren't they our representatives?
They work for us.
So if there are representatives, and if I say to you that you are going to represent me as an attorney, I'm obliged to take instructions from my client. Me can't represent them with my own thoughts, you know. Me have to say, and you have anything to say? For every indulgence, my lady, you have anything to say? Same thing with the representatives. You hear any of our MPs ask for them constituency, what do you think? What should I be saying to the people in Parliament? Give me your views. Is it
Do we
driven?
know that they're not doing that?
Well, you hear nothing, me no hear nothing. And that's a problem. So if you're doing it, my humblest of apologies. I'll be the first to tell you I'm sorry.
How should they do it?
But we could do it the same way in our constituencies. They have constituency meetings. Local they have level. Community meetings. When them are run for election, you don't have to ask what them there, you know. Them put on them thing, we go in at the bar them, you see them. You go up on the roadside, you see them. Them are run boat in a one community called them and come down and everybody come down and we are talk about it. All I'm saying is, Neville, after 60 years, let's get the people involved. When you say to me it's just about removing the king, okay, fine. Does this mean we're going to wait 60 more years for us to have an independent court. And here is where we must really consider the implications. It's great to remove the king. We agree. That means that all the lawyers and we have King's Counsel, we're going to drop them the title letter and perhaps become People's Counsel. But that's another conversation. How are you going to have the Privy Council tell you whether or not a law is constitutional or not? You're going to go back to them when we have a challenge and have them tell us how to interpret our law? So we don't have the king anymore. We're not saying God bless the king. We're saying God bless Jamaica now. But Jamaican laws are now interpreted still by the people who the king choose.
What is wrong if the government says, all right, we're going to get rid of Simone first, then we're going to get rid of Neville next year, then we're going to do so and so.
Make a reverse.
What is wrong with that?
I hear myself say ethically unsound.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to do it next year, what's the guarantee that next year we're going to come and we're going to do it? We couldn't do it one time and save money.
Yeah, but what is wrong if they
What is wrong is that you're going to have them still tell us what to do. That's what is ethically unsound. You and I know?
That's the point I think she's
Do you
making.
and I know? For how long? We've been doing this for 60 years. So in 1962, in fact, we had a constitution in 1944 that was leading us into internal government. Then come 1952, 53, we had a constitution that was taking us into self-government. By 1959, I believe, there were the move ahead now that said, make we do a constitution now that take us into independence. That constitution that took us into independence gave us the 1962 constitution and secured the Privy Council. At that time, the conversation was we really should leave the king, but we loved what was British. 60 years later, there's still that conversation. So what we're going to do? Do it in phases? Some things don't really make sense anymore. Because if the Privy Council is making laws that our own senior lawyers have to be saying, that no mean nothing to it, that no right, it's a breach of our constitution, it tells us that we need to get up, grow up. If you're talking about a legacy, legacy is not just one phase. Legacy is taking everything together and saying, look, let's educate. Let's get the people to participate. And when we get that, we get everybody to cooperate and decide. Maybe the people want it, Maybe what Daniel is saying is rubbish. They're tired to hear me. I take it. So go to the people now. Hear what the people have to say. Whether you're going to be doing it through your constituency representatives or you're going to have a full-blown, comprehensive campaign, Simone. That tells me, what is this hoopla-pla about this republic? Why do I need an executive president? We need more senators for that means say more money? Because then just get money the other day. So if we're going to have more senators, that means they have to pay more money. Where does it come from? Because me that really like some guidance council to get some money. So if we have more senators, that means I'm going to pay them more money. And what happened to the school then we need AC now in time hot?
So the point you're making is everything has an implication for every other area of society.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's not about not supporting the call, it's about supporting the call, but understanding all the implications.
Did I buy a slice of cake this morning?
I'm off cake, but you can buy me like
a never will eat it.
He sure will.
Yeah. But you see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not about opposing.
Think it out.
Let's think it out. And guess what? This is where I think it's most important. We've been talking about people not being involved in the political process from the idea of me.
Yeah.
Don't you think if you really had the interest of all the people at heart and you really wanted to represent them so that people don't say only 32% of people vote and only of them have the minutes, that you get them involved so that ultimately, because they're participating in the process now, you get more votes.
Very passionate, Ms. Archer. I want to change lanes just before.
Sorry.
We only have about 30 seconds. Do you have an issue with the opposition leader having dual citizenship?
I think if you look at the law, everything is context. When 1962 Constitution was crafted, because we were British, being from Britain and a Commonwealth citizen, you were not deemed a dual national. In the context of 1962 and in the context of Jamaica being part of the Commonwealth and being a colonial entity of Britain, dual nationalism did not exist. So we have to be, if we're looking at it from a legal perspective, there's nothing morally wrong or legally wrong with that.
What about governance?
Governance?
Perspective.
Governance isn't wrong. Remember, we come from Britain. Now, if we're talking about being independent and being a republic, now this is where we now say to people, listen, we want only Jamaicans. But in 2024, can you properly and fairly say only Jamaicans should have a say when we have a large conglomerate of Jamaicans outside the diaspora? And the CRC's recommendation says it's okay for an executive president to not be purely Jamaican.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. God bless you. Stay passionate.
Bring her back tomorrow, because I have some more questions.
Bring me back tomorrow. No. People them will stone you. They're going to make up too much noise.
National Integrity Action Principal Director. Her name is Daniel Action.
Back broad. You can't stone her. Up next, we're talking more facts. Combating gender-based violence. You want her to talk about that?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to leave now.
We'll be right back, everybody.